everyone, my name is Tianyi Zhang and my student ID is 8781R0XZ. Thank you, Professor Aaron. Thank you have been training and teaching us with love and patience for these months. This kindness and priceless, and we hope to be your students all the time in the future. And I hope Professor Aaron and your family will be good, healthy, and good luck forever. I appreciate and love you, Professor Aaron. And now, let's welcome to Tianyi Zhang's interview time. The topic I sincerely would like to discuss with you this time is situation of China's journalist industry in recent years and its future development. The era of traditional medium has gradually passed. In today's society, it is popular to use modern technologies such as new medium to collect information, produce news and disseminate news, and at the same time, with the development of internet technology, each of us could become a publisher and disseminator of the information. In the medium environment, where traditional medium and modern medium integrate together, how do our journalists view the current changes? How do they view the current employment situation in the journalism industry? And what appropriate suggestions will they provide to journalism students in view of their own experiences? This interview is divided into 5 parts, and the guest we invited this time is Jiaqing Liu, the senior journalist of Changjiang News Agency, and I will invite him to talk about the detailed situation of China's journalist industry in recent years and its future development. Now, let's welcome him with warm applause and listen to his original views on the future development of students majoring in journalism and medium. So, let's welcome journalist Liu.
I am very appreciated to accept your interview. Next, I will use my experience to answer your interview questions.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So let's start our interview, please. And now we come to our part 1, the recruitment conditions of journalists. So the first question I would like to ask you, how many years have you worked in journalism industry, please?
I began to work as a journalist at the publishing house after graduation from college. I have been a journalist for 30 years.
Oh, 30 years! That's a long time. So, what are the recruitment conditions of journalists, please?
First of all, in terms of academic qualifications, ordinary journalism media organizations require a bachelor's degree or above, while higher level organizations require a graduate student or above. And your major in college needs to be related to journalism and media. In addition, you need to be physically and mentally healthy and to have a lasting love for this job. And you are not allowed to have bad habits and have correct social values and industry ethics. You should be no previous record of crimes.
We all know that the profession of journalist is a hot job in the society, and it is highly respected by the public. So we all care about how much the journalist's salary is, please?
To be honest, everyone is very concerned about the monthly income of a journalist. In China's first-tier city, the monthly salary of a journalist is 10,000 or 20,000 yuan. And in second-tier cities, the monthly salary is 5,000 to 8,000 yuan. In addition, I hope you could pay more attention to the greater value and influence brought by the journalist industry to the society, while paying more attention to salary.
And now we come to our part 2, work contents of journalists. So, this question I would like to ask you, what are the main tasks of the journalists, please?
At present, our main work is to go out for interviews, summarize some news-worthy information collected at the news sense, see into news, and then everyone will go to a meeting at a specific time to discuss. And then our director responsible for news and will review and guide which news can be published in the next 2 days. However, as the media in modern society have been completely integrated into traditional media, we often use modern production software to produce news, edit news, and then produce and broadcast online news. Now, we also have half of the time to manage and operate the news content on the official website every day.
Okay, and now we come to our part 3, professional accomplishments of journalists. So, I would like to ask you, what qualities do you think a qualified journalist should have, please?
First of all, I think the classic knowledge of the traditional humanities and social science is still very important, which is the basic skill. The second is the ability to analyze problems rationally, especially the ability to think critically. The third is, of course, the ability to understand and analyze modern technology logically.
What character do you think a journalist should have, please?
Journalists need to be sunny, confident, cheerful, outgoing, and not timid in their interview work. If others refuse your interview, you should also have some real silence. After the interview, you should return to the office and face the busy news information, preparation, and summary work. You should be serious, careful, meticulous, and stress-resident. Then you should get along with your colleagues. On weekend, you need to be gentle and tolerant.
And now we come to our part 4, pros and cons of journalists. So I would like to ask you, what impact do you think the work of journalists has on your life, please?
First of all, I think I have less rest time for myself. There is no fixed weekend. And because once I have the task of going out for interview and research, it often lasts for a week. So I have little time to rest. In addition, because of the nature of the work, I have little time to accompany my family. I should also reasonably allocate work and rest time in the future of maintaining balance.
What do you think are the benefits and challenges of this job, please?
The advantages of this job is that I can get fresh news at the first time every day, so that I can pay more attention to current affairs and politics. I will always be curious about change in society and the world, eager to explore, and always have the same love and freshness for life as flowers. The challenge of this job is how to continue to love and learn how to not let yourself get tired in some boring job's contents. This is the topic I have been exploring at this stage. You must learn how to make yourself happy in this busy and tired work. Which is most important?
In terms of politics, what should we pay attention to in our journalism, please?
First of all, every piece of news we produce and broadcast must comply with laws and regulations, correct social values, and promote positive image content. Then we should also encourage people to love their motherland, their career, and their families.
And now we come to our part 5, current situation and future prospects of journalists industry. Now our journalists are facing many problems in future development. So I'd love to hear your opinion about this issue. So I would like to ask you, do you think the current situation of journalists in this society is good, please?
Now, the society pays great attention to this question, as you just asked. As far as I'm concerned, I think the current situation of their work is very nice. The rapid economic development has made the society have a huge demand for journalism and media talents. The journalism and media talents have become one of the hot jobs in the society at this stage. The working content scope is much broader than what people used to think, and they are becoming younger, more professional, and more intellectual compared with other jobs. Most media jobs are more stable in salary and have a stronger sense of positioning. Their income is very abundant, and they are highly supported by the society.
I see. I think what you said is too vivid. It seems to be true. And it is closely related to the current actual situation. After hearing what you said, I was immediately full of confidence in the future development of students majoring in media. appreciate you for your wonderful answer to this question. Next, let's turn to next question. In your opinion, what challenges are China's journalists facing, please?
Your question has aroused the thinking of our entire industry. To be honest, the general public in modern society will also use new media to produce all kinds of information, as long as they master basic digital technology. The general public could also become the publisher and the creator of information, which also accelerate the replaceability of journalist talents. If our journalists do not know how to apply what they have learned and don't know how to combine theory with practice, and then couldn't adapt the development of changes of journalism in society as soon as possible. And I suppose they will soon be ruthlessly eliminated by the current method.
Your answer is a very appropriate reminder for our students. As you said, only by mastering some skills could we face the challenge well. Alright, let's turn to the next question. According to your observation, under the prevailing new media atmosphere in our modern society, does the work form and content of journalists tend to be more diversified, please?
Yes. As you said, the diversified society new constituents colorful science of a journalist's work. There were even more journalists whose work I didn't know how about before, which also updated my understanding of the modern journalism and the media market.
What you said is too gorgeous. The diversified employment scene constitutes our flourishing and invigorating society. Well, let me have a look at the next question. If the journalists around you wants to change the job, what kind of jobs do they usually change, please?
Oh, I see. I know this very well. Some places of work, like traditional media, such as newspapers, magazines, and the other places of work, like modern media, Baidu, Tencent, and Huawei. Of course, there are also some journalists enter in situations and state organs related to media entry. And some journalists who continue to study for media postgraduates.
The development of our journalists is really glorious. The scene to be aroused in my mind. The way they actively devote themselves to work. It's like light green bamboo shoots sprouting after spring rain. Okay, so now I couldn't wait to ask you next question. That is, what are the characteristics of journalists' work in recent years, please?
Well, in my opinion, journalists no longer choose the popular traditional media for work. Now, they prefer to go to modern media companies and create their own media studios.
Oh, that sounds great! I'm so proud of their fertile imagination and rich sense of fantasy. Now, I have a very sincere heart to consult with you. Next question is, what impact does the vigorous development of modern media have on the working direction of journalists, please?
Well, the question you raised is actually being heatedly discussed by people at all levels. Traditional media complaints have been snapped unprecedentedly, where modern media companies have been blindly pursued, and our journalists have flocked to them. Some journalists are more enthusiastic about starting their own media businesses because they have mastered more skilled modern communication technology in advance, and they are not constrained by the real environment.
Oh, your brilliant speech gave me a refreshing shock. I was deeply impressed by your ideology. So, the next question also comes out quietly. What adjustments and reflections should be made to the education and training of publishing house, please?
Your question has a good perspective. In fact, instead of students thinking about what kind of job they should look for, I also face a big thinking proposition of my career. I think our leaders should not only remind our young journalists not to ignore the solid text editing skills in the media, but also not to forget to continue to cultivate their spirit of bold innovation and breakthrough in the new media.
Your fantastic speech is like giving me a master class, which also benefits me a lot. And this also triggered a lot of rivalry. Unconsciously came out to our next question. Do you think a person choose the job of journalist is related to their family background and personal hobbies, please?
In fact, the matter you mentioned is also one of their problems I often investigate. Of course, it is related. The different backgrounds of people form their diversified employment choices. Of course, as more and more people go to the new media industry for employment, it also reflects the booming trend of new media and the demand of talents, which puts forward new requirements for the ability and the comprehensive ability of media talents.
Okay, this gives me some profound and incisive information. The modern media environment is changing with each passing day. So the next question is, from your years of working experiences, what does a person need to do to become a journalist, please?
Oh, good question. First of all, we still need to fully absorb professional knowledge and cultivate our own ability and quality during the learning period. This is the best way to respond to changes with constancy. In addition, we should actively learn the technology and skills of new media communications, devote ourselves to new things, and have the ability to deal with all unknown change.
Next, this is a traditional part of our interview. At this moment, our journalists and some people who are eager to become journalists are very eager to hear your words of encouragement. Could you generously express your blessings to them, please?
I hope all of you could uphold the rigorous academic attitude of journalists, spread the influence of journalists for the course from beginning to end, and embrace the ministry of media in the universe with exclusive and the discriminating heart of journalists. Please always wave with the world in splendid spirits and walk on the road full of vibrant flowers with an optimistic heart. Always be a clear, gentle, and intellectually journalist.
Okay, thank you very much, journalist Liu. I think our interview today is very enlightening for young journalists. It also lit a bright lamp that will never go out of their development direction. I hope our journalists could gain something after watching this interview. If it could help you in the future, we are sincerely grateful. Anyway, please be a person who contributes to the society. At last, I'm very appreciate to journalist Liu for participating in today's interview. Also, our interview is coming to an end now. Thank you, journalist Liu, and looking forward to interviewing you again. And at the end, thank you, Professor Aaron. Thank you have been training and teaching us with love and patience for these 3 months. We hope to be your students all the time in the future. Finally, I hope Professor Aaron and your family will be good, healthy, and good luck forever.